What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. We're going to get into Monday Night Raw from July the 21st, 2025. We're still on the road to SummerSlam, which is in 2 weeks' time. Well, actually, in 2 weeks from this Saturday. I am not all that invested in the SummerSlam card. I'm just not. The Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed tag match that we're going to get, that seems like it should just be on Monday Night Raw. That's what it seems like. It's something that sounds like a main event for Monday Night Raw versus being on SummerSlam. Hopefully this match does open up the show. SummerSlam Night 1, this is how the show should open up. Keep in mind, Roman said he's either going to open the show or close the show. So he's not going to be doing the co-main at all. So this will probably be the first match that we'll get for SummerSlam Night 1, which is what I'm hoping happens. But we'll have to wait and see. We don't have too much longer left to wait. But hopefully I am right in that regard. So let's get into the review. There's not really much to talk about, if we're being honest. This show was boring and bland. So we kicked the show off with CM Punk, and he comes out, he gets on the mic, he gets a pretty good reaction as per usual. So CM Punk says that when he came back, he had a couple of goals in mind. One was to main event WrestleMania, and the other was to be a world champion. And he's done both of those. Regardless of what people have said, like Michael Cole in commentary, he's done both of those things. He's been World Heavyweight Champion, I think, a couple of times. So, I mean, he's been a 5 or 6 time or 7 time world champion. But, it is what it is. Punk said that he won the gauntlet match last week. Made a number 1 contender to Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. Then he puts over Gunther, saying he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's looking forward to lacing up the boots and facing him. He says he can't promise a win, but with everybody cheering him on, he can promise that he'll leave it all in the ring. He won't quit. He'll give everything that he has. Then he puts over Gunther's Intercontinental Championship reign, about how he held it for 666 days, 666, mark of the beast. So if you know, you know. So Punk says that he has 2 weeks to train for Gunther, but he's been training for this his entire life. He's CM Punk. To Gunther and his fans, CM Punk is not just any other wrestler and not just any other challenger. He's the best in the world. So then Gunther shows up. Both guys are face to face. The fans are chanting all types of stuff to Gunther, like "you tapped out" and a bunch of other stuff. I wasn't really paying attention. So Gunther says that he didn't come out to throw insults at CM Punk or to create any drama. But he wanted to point out some similarities. They're there for the same reasons, not to make friends, but to make money and to win championships. And they both consider themselves best in the world. Gunther says that CM Punk has a massive ego, and he doesn't blame Punk for that. He has an ego, too, but his is justified. Gunther says his ego is not based on what the fans think. That is worthless. His ego is based on results. And Punk just listed his accolades. The best in the world is the man who holds the World Heavyweight Championship. So Gunther says at SummerSlam that bell will ring, and when it does, he'll make Punk regret that he got into a ring. He'll maul him or choke him out and drop him. Punk will wake up looking at the lights and realize that Gunther was right. He will never be World Heavyweight Champion. He will never be the best in the world. Gunther says at least he has the degenerate fans chanting for him for the rest of his life. And that was the end of the promo. So this was fine. This was okay. I wish there was a little bit more meat on the bone, but it is what it is. It's fine. I'm pretty sure they'll probably do one more promo segment, or they should, to build the match. You guys should know by now, I am over the Gunther experiment. Once he loses at SummerSlam, he does not need to hold the title again for about either close to a year or 2 years at best. Gunther's kind of been insufferable as champion. You know, him struggling to beat Pat McAfee. My bad, I almost called him Paul McAfee, but Pat McAfee. Gunther, you know, fighting Jey Uso 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. You know, Gunther not having any real challengers, just facing the same people over and over and over again, and that's not cool. So it is what it is. Moving on. So Stephanie Baker has a backstage interview with Byron Saxton. So Stephanie tells Byron that Chelsea Green is not her problem. So Naomi comes in, who tells her that they have not met yet, but she's the women's world champion. Stephanie tells her she knows who she is. Naomi tells her that after she wins the SummerSlam, she'll face her at Clash in Paris. And Stephanie tells her if she survives, and Naomi says she will. And since Stephanie wants to be smart, Io was walking her like a dog, and she'll see her in Paris. And then Naomi does her maniacal laugh. So good shit there. I do like this. Apparently, for whatever reason, Rikishi wants Jimmy and Naomi to start a family. It's like, bro, can you please stop putting their business out there? If Naomi wants to do that, she'll do it. Like, I'm hoping that Naomi gets a decent reign as champion, maybe a good 3 to 4 month reign. I'm hoping we can put the title on Stephanie Baker. I would say maybe at Survivor Series. I think that would be a good place to do it. I don't want Naomi to lose it at SummerSlam, which she probably won't. She'll probably survive at SummerSlam. And she'll probably win at Clash, too, with some type of bizarre finish, maybe. But I would at least give Naomi at least a good 3 to 4 month reign as champion. That's just me thinking out loud. But Triple H is going to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Moving on. This leads us into the first match of the night. Sheamus defeats Rusev. We've seen it, 1,000 times. Who cares? It was hard-hitting and all that. So, towards the end of the match, Rusev ended up bringing in the turnbuckle pad, trying to use it. Then Rusev actually was going to bring in the shillelagh. Sheamus hit the bro kick, 1, 2, 3. So, they're now 1-1. Maybe at SummerSlam they'll do a match. Maybe it'll be Falls Count Anywhere or Last Man Standing or I Quit, something like that. I don't fucking know. I'm just speaking out loud. I don't really care about this at all. What do you do with Sheamus, man? Sheamus, to me, I like him, but he's boring though. He's got no character. He's boring and bland. And Rusev deserves better. He really does. He's been back for about 2 months now, and he's not really done much of anything. But whatever. Moving on. So, Grande Americana, a.k.a. Ludwig Kaiser, he gets into a verbal argument with Dragon Lee, and they fight and brawl with each other. So, there's that. Who cares? Not that important. Ludwig Kaiser deserves better, in my opinion. Moving on. So, this leads us into more drama between Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. So, Bayley tells Lyra that she did ask because they didn't get to do it at WrestleMania. Lyra tells her that she beat her last week, and she doesn't seem too happy about it. Bayley is wrapping her arm off with tape, and that was it. So, whatever, it is what it is. Becky and Bayley, Bayley and Lyra are going to go after the tag team championships. Speaking of which, the LWO, Walking Wild and Cruz del Toro, they win the number one contenders triple threat tag team championship match. So, there's that via roll-up. The New Day, they suck ass. The Creed Brothers, they deserve better, and it is what it is. I don't care about this shit at all. I don't. Moving on. So, the Kabuki Warriors, they're backstage. They're going to talk about, they talk about how they all are going to be champions. So, Stephanie Vacker comes in. She talks to EO. She tells EO that if she wins at SummerSlam, that being EO, they'll face each other at Clash in Paris. EO tells her that she had her beat, and Stephanie tells her they don't have to wait until Paris to find out. And then EO challenges Stephanie to a match. Whatever. I don't give a damn about this at all. Moving right along. This leads us into some Judgment Day nonsense. Basically, AJ's mopping the floor like a janitor, which is pretty funny. Dom, he's still not cleared yet, so that's pretty cool shit there. Then the New Day, they're backstage. They're saying how Adam Pearce killed the tag team division. No, the tag team division has been dead for a long minute. Then Grayson Waller shows up. He tells them that Austin Theory is down injured and A-Town Down Under is officially over. This is 240 pounds off of his back. Pause. Grayson Waller says that he's a free agent and tells them that he's Big G. So there is that. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit. Moving on. So this leads us into Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. Becky puts over her new movie, Happy Gilmore 2. She wishes that she was there, watching her movie. So Becky says that Lyra spent months saying that Becky stole opportunities, and tonight Lyra has a chance to win the tag titles. But she asks who needs 2 titles. Becky says, of course, when she walked out as Becky 2 belts at MetLife Stadium. So then she wants Lyra to come out. So Becky once again puts over Lyra. She said that free ride at SummerSlam ends, and this is the last time they're going to go one-on-one. And she tells Lyra that when she loses, she can't challenge for the championship again as long as she's champion. Lyra tells Becky that she never takes it too far enough, and she accepts her terms. But her terms are there's going to be no countouts, no DQ, and there must be a winner. So whatever. I don't really give a damn about this. They continue to bicker back and forth for a brief second. Then Becky wants Lyra to shake her hand. Then Becky goes for a right hand. Lyra ducks that, and then she hits a manhandle slam of her own, and that was it. And then this leads us into the Judgment Day. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, they defeat Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Becky Lynch got involved towards the end of the match and attacked Lyra, took her out. And then this allowed for Roxanne Perez. This allowed for Raquel to hit the Chicana bomb for the 1, 2, 3. Whatever. I don't really give a damn about this. This is a waste of time. It really is. Moving on. This leads us into a backstage interview with Sami Zayn and Jackie Redmond. Sami tells Jackie that he's medically he could have possibly used more time. He says it's one more thing when Cross was in the shadows, but now he's getting in the way of his goals. He missed last week because of Cross, and he would have been in that gauntlet match. He could have won that match and had a title opportunity. So moving on from that, then we get some more Judgment Day, Dom, AJ nonsense and everything else. AJ's still pestering Dom, and that's pretty cool stuff there. So, yeah. Moving right along. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross in an okay little match. Karrion Kross wins. So Scarlett, she distracts the ref. This allows for Karrion to grab the steel pipe. He hits Sammy in the ribs with it, throws it out the ring, pins him 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. That's cool there. So this still continues their feud, which is probably going to be some type of special stipulation, maybe like a Falls Count Anywhere match, maybe a Last Man Standing match, maybe an I Quit match, a no DQ match, something. But we need something to kind of end their feud. Both guys are 1-1. Cross just won tonight, and then Sammy beat Cross at Night of Champions. So there's that. So they are 1-1. So good shit there. Great shit. Karrion Kross continues to kick major ass. Moving on. So, AJ, he's backstage with Adam Pearce. So the medic, he comes out and he says that they finished the evaluation, but there's still some paperwork. So Dom comes in, he hits AJ from behind, he grabs the papers and says that he's cleared, and he'll see AJ at SummerSlam. Okay, that's fine. That should be fun there. Moving on, this leads us into Io Sky versus Stephanie Vacker. It was a no contest. I wish that they would quit teasing us with this match. If they're not going to give us a definitive winner, why would you fucking do that? It's a waste of everyone's fucking time. It's stupid. And then the Secret Herbers, they show up and they get their asses beat by Stephanie Vacker, Io, and Asuka. So, there's that. And Kairi Sane was in there too. No, my bad. Rhea Ripley, she showed up and she took out Justice Green. So there's that. Whatever. I don't care about this at all. Closing segment. So Paul Heyman, he calls out Roman Reigns. Roman gets a massive reaction as per usual. So Paul Heyman tells Roman that he never wants to be disrespectful. He tells Roman that Seth Rollins is going to be out of action for a long, long time. And so that opens up a leadership void for them, and that means that they can fix this. So Paul says that they can put this back together to look at who or what comes with him. So Paul Heyman then tells Roman that he loves him, and he calls him his tribal chief. The fans chant that Paul Heyman sold out. Roman says that a few years ago, Heyman was asking him to lead. Would have been wise words from a wise man, but Paul Heyman's not a wise man anymore. He's just a dumbass. So Bron gets angry. So Roman tells him to calm down and sit in the learning tree and write this down, because Paul Heyman is going to do to them what Heyman did to him. He's going to take all the credit, and he's heard a lot of people try and take responsibility for creating the tribal chief, but he can tell them that it wasn't Heyman. The only reason that Roman's the tribal chief is because the fans still acknowledge him. Roman says the OTC was a champion too. The greatest champion to step foot in the ring, which is 10,000% true. And so Paul Heyman did have a part in that, but he did not have any part in keeping that title. He says that job that was because of the Usos, Solo, and Sammy. Even they all helped out. Roman says that he lost that title. It only took 4 years, but he did. After that, Paul Heyman told everyone that Roman Reigns went off. But Roman went home to continue to raise the future bloodline, which is great. Reigns says that Paul Heyman thought they were just another fat check. Another fat check or a wrestling group or faction. He says you can create those, but you can't create the bloodline. That's God's work, which is great. So Roman continues on by saying that Paul Heyman used to be a friend of his family, a business partner. Roman made him a part of their family. He was his chosen family. He gave him responsibility. And Paul Heyman threw it all away for a best friend, someone he had not talked to in over a decade. Then he calls Paul Heyman a dumbass. Then Bron gets on the mic and says that they don't want him anymore. Roman's yesterday's news. He's the old dog. He was relevant 5 years ago, and that was Roman's prime. He's just taking up a spot, standing in his ring. He's glad Roman didn't take Paul Heyman's offer, and he knows that Paul Heyman won't stab him in the back because he holds values. Because he holds value, while Roman is worthless. Bron says that he's the big dog now. He's the top dog, and he's the future of WWE. He's the man now. So Roman says he didn't understand what Bron just said, and then Roman kicks the shit out of both Bron and Bronson Reed. So Jey Uso shows up. He yeets for about a second, and then Roman and Jey stand tall by spearing both Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, and that's how they go off the air. This was okay. I liked this, but other than that, this was still a weak show in my opinion. I did like the main event closing segment. That was good with the Roman and Jey. That's cool there. I didn't like the CM Punk and Gunther stuff. It could have been longer, but it wasn't. And then everything else on the show was just mid, but it is what it is. But what did you guys think of Monday Night Raw? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.